50th on the season. You do secure the 3 seed for the Western Conference playoffs. I know it's been a long season. A lot has happened, but that right there is accomplishing something towards your ultimate goal.
Yeah, I mean, the Western Conference is such a, competitive, every single night. Doesn't matter who you play, it's always competitive. And for us to be the 3rd seed is a big accomplishment. Now we have one more Sunday, I believe. Yeah, Friday.
Yep.
Today, Friday, 2nd day of the Masters, by the way. Everybody watch. Yeah, so we got one more Sunday, and then the real deal starts. So it's very excited.
I figured you'd get a golf reference in there. So Luka just walked by, gave you a tap on the back. Obviously, it seemed like a galvanizing moment for you guys in Texas, in Dallas, around him. What have you seen from him lately coming out of that one and into this one as you approach the postseason?
I mean, him just being him. We've all been watching it since he's been in the league. He does stuff like he did tonight in Dallas a lot. So we expect him to do that. We want him to go be our best player every single night. And he's one hell of a player. So happy to have him on our team. And that night in Dallas was huge for our team.
What were you and LeBron getting into on the bench there? Seemed like you were having some fun.
We were getting into it. We don't really like each other. We deal with each other just because of basketball, but other than that, friendship's not that good. But we did celebrate for a second for not being in the play-in tournament. So we battled through those days last year and the year before. And now we were, like you said, we secured that 3rd seed. So we're, super excited to, for the postseason.
Yeah, not just avoid the play-in, but secured home court for at least one round. And you guys have been playing some good basketball in this building.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we play in the best, arena in the world in front of the best fans. So anytime we, lace them up, in general, we feel good, but especially when we're here, with this crowd behind us.
Thanks for the time, Austin.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Everybody watch the Masters.
With the playoffs approaching, we just thought we'd show everybody and remind everybody that you were a bad man and you were not playing games with Scola that night after what he tried to do to our boy Luke a little bit.
It's just too much talking, man. Too much talking. But we allowed them to feel like they could talk for a couple games.
By the way, that cost you a game.
It did. It cost me the rest of that game and the next game. And I just ran through his chest as hard as I could. There was no punch thrown. His face actually hit my head. But that was, 2009. Commissioner Stern felt differently about, that type of play. But we just had to send a message.
What did Phil think about it?
I don't know. If he really, he probably was upset that it cost me the next game. But
he understood it.
Yeah, we had to send a message, man.
Straight out the 80s there. I love that, man.
I knew you were going to like that.
I love that, bro. I would have been nothing back then, but, just you guys cut that out.
Yeah.
Maybe a foul. That's all.
They weren't even, barely a foul.
You got to, every now and then you have to take one for the team.
Yeah.
Byron was our guy.
Yeah.
We needed Byron with, light him up. Light him up.
As Fish said, didn't throw a punch.
No.
Just went through his chest. Shaq had a great quote the other night about duck and smoke, saying, basically like avoiding matchups or wanting matchups and how people jockey for position. So it got us thinking about the Lakers. Is there a matchup? They're all going to be tough, but is there a matchup you prefer or maybe even one that you said, I'd rather not play them till round 2, or I'd rather see those 2 match up. So, like for me, I'd love to see the Clippers and Warriors play each other round 1. I'd be okay with that. I don't know. What do you guys think, Fish?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Or you just say, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of my experiences, it's just like, let's go. It doesn't matter who. But on this lineup 1 through 8, to me the Grizzlies would be the only team I feel like the Lakers have. It's almost like mind control, Debo. They would find a way in a 7-game series to definitely beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
I think the Grizzlies are smaller in the backcourt. They just don't match up great against this Lakers team. But the rest of those teams in a 7-game series, man, it could turn on one play. And all of those teams are capable. So
it's funny. I was thinking about Denver, and I'm like, man, playing Jokic and Murray in the first round. But then a part of me was like, but it's time. to beat them. You know what I mean? So it's like you can go.
That's fair too.
But Shaq talked about it. Like Phil sometimes would even like, "We'll see you tonight, because I'd love to see San Antonio and Utah play each other in the second round." And there's ways to kind of. But Lakers aren't in that position.
Well, yeah, that was
out of their head.
Conversation he was having with Shaq at the top of
the
top. He was talking to us.
Duck and smoke, he called it. It's pretty funny.
I don't know, man. I got to take my mindset out of when I was playing.
It's different.
Because we always had home court advantage. So it was always like, I don't care. Just bring them. We're gonna have to play whoever. And Utah was really good. San Antonio,
Dallas,
they were good. So we just like, we're gonna have to see them at some point. But I can see the way the league has changed, where you might want to have two other teams play and let them fight it out and eliminate one and move along that way. But let's go, man.
Yeah,
I think for us it was more about the home court piece and being a one seed and having home court advantage throughout. Those type of scenarios were more so what we sought out to protect.
Yeah.
If you're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like at that point, we probably didn't feel like it mattered as much, but that home court piece was big at the top.
And I like the mindset the Lakers have had and JJ have had. Like, we want to get as high as we can. Yeah. We want 3, and we've all been saying that too. And whoever's in 6, they're in 6.
Yes.
Like, we can't play games. We can't.
Correct.
We can't fix that anyway.
Correct.
And
because if you're capable of playing the type of basketball that lands you the 3 seed, home court,
you earned it.
You earned it. And
now you
it doesn't matter who's 6. Like,
I agree.
You are good enough to win that series.
So JJ will be his rookie run, James, and he's got a lot of experience with him, which is great. As a coach through the playoffs, he's done it as a player, but he's done a real nice job navigating these 82. I'll tell you that.
Well, look,
a lot thrown at this team.
Humility at that position, in my experience, has always been, the best formula. Not thinking he knows it all, having trust in his coaching staff, and relying on them to help prepare him, and then communicating with his players. For me, I always thought he had that, just the way he was on his radio shows and things of that nature. Just a honest communication, throwing things out there and just keeping it real. So I think that's landed him at a place where his players trust him, and they believe in when he says something. And he seems to be able to think on his feet very well, and deviate from the norm and do something different. So yeah, I give him a lot of credit as a first-year coach.
Yeah, I think, and obviously the Lakers will have adjustments and things that they maybe haven't shown throughout the regular season, but it appears from the outside looking in that his expectations for the team that they've bought into and trust, on a night-to-night basis, it's almost like a playoff game every night. Like, they don't really do, a lot of teams for several years, there were more general game plan coverages